Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Andrew Snyder from Lutron. We'll get started in a few minutes, right around 11 o'clock. In the meantime, if you have any questions before we get started, feel free to post them in the chat window, and I'll answer them as they come in, or follow up with you afterwards if I don't have an immediate answer. We'll get started in a few minutes. Okay, everybody, let's get started. Thanks for joining us for the QuEst live demonstration. Do want to give a quick thanks to Western, specifically Jen Yorgi and Jim Rice-Snyder for helping me set this up and reaching out to all of you to offer it to you and working with me to put the agenda together. So thank you very much, guys. This half-hour session is going to be about our QuEst quick estimation and design software. This software is the next step in the delivery of frankly, energy code compliant control at Lutron. We've been doing lighting control designs for a long time, and we're pulling in a bunch of energy code compliant solutions that I'd like to share this next generation with you. I'm going to start way back when with our designer tool, which is still actively used today. But this was kind of the first iteration of what Lutron did regarding allowing people to do energy code compliant design. So we have this tool that's freely available online. If you're interested in more information on it, we can set up a future webinar. So I'm not going to go in depth. But this tool allows you to import a floor plan. And with the knowledge of the vast energy codes, the hundreds of pages of energy codes, you could plop devices down to deliver an energy code compliant design. This had a learning curve. There is training classes that we lead. And how do you know if it's energy code compliant? Well, you have to be an expert in the energy code. So this is a widely used tool, but it has a steep learning curve and frankly is better suited for detailed designs. So what I'm going to show here is the second step in a three-step process of Lutron's energy code compliant solution design. This is our energy codes website. I got here by going to lutron.com/energycodes. Now, this brings to light all of the homework that our energy codes teams have done to boil down complicated energy codes like Title 24 here in California down to a quick reference guide describing what you need for different applications. Here's my favorite page in these guides, which is the quick reference chart. This quick reference chart allows you to look up which room you're currently working on. So for example, if you're working on a restroom, I can see that from this first row, switching is required and dimming is not. So that's good information. I can use that to develop an energy code compliant design. I can also see if I step down a few rows that occupancy sensors are required. This is for both new construction and retrofit. And then lastly, if the restroom has a window, daylight responsive control is needed, but since it's just a circle, this means it's only for new construction, not retrofit. So long story short, we've taken the 100-page energy codes and boiled them down to this nice handy chart that, of course there are exceptions, but this is a great place to start for an energy code compliant design when you're trying to get something quick and easy. The way that we use this is shown a little bit further down in the document, and I'm going to use a restroom as an example. So here in this restroom on the left, I have 4 fixtures, and since I just mentioned on the previous page that only switching is needed, I'm going to put this switching load control device here, a wall remote, and some occupancy sensors so the lights can turn on and off together. That's energy code compliant. We list out the list price of everything, allowing you to get a quick budget. And now in the 3rd phase out of 3, we've taken all this knowledge of energy codes and built it into the QuEst tool. So here we are. It's going to keep getting better. We have some cool things in the plans for later. But QuEst takes all of the knowledge of energy code design that I just showed you and allows you to get a quick estimate and design. And you can either sign in if you want to catalog all the projects that you've worked on, or you can start a project as a guest. But of course, that won't have any kind of a history if you're working on multiple projects each month, each year. I'm going to start as a guest to demonstrate it. So here in the QuEst tool, you can see right away, it asks me for some pretty simple information. And along the right-hand side here, it's going to show me 3 recommended solutions, with the top recommended one having this banner at the top saying recommended. So I'm going to name this Andrew's Commercial Office. So Andrew's Commercial Office, going to be a 9,000 square foot project. And if you're keeping an eye on the right-hand side here, you can see the numbers changing as I go. This is pretty slick and was designed with simplicity in mind. You can see real-time changes as you're editing things. I live right near our Irvine Experience Center here in California. So that's where my office is going to be located. And Title 24, 2019 is my local energy code. It knows my location, so it knows what to recommend, but I can choose others if that's applicable. This particular project is a retrofit project. Going to use 0 to 10 as the standard control type for my fixtures. And I can take a quick peek on the right-hand side and just get an idea of how I'm doing so far. So my product cost at the moment is $1.31 per square foot for a total product cost of $11,813. Now notice it has install cost as well. This is important, and this is not a Lutron install cost. This is an industry standard using data pulled from the Trimble AccuBid software. If you're not familiar with it, it's just an industry standard of install times for various products. And I'll show you a chart showing some of that a little bit later. But hey, suppose you live in Hawaii and the labor is a little bit more expensive than $50 an hour. So I'm actually going to adjust my install time and cost because I know that my local rates are $75 an hour. So the number of hours will remain the same based on that industry standard data, but the rate will change my total cost. Now, in the background behind QuEst, we're always generating 6 different solutions based on the data that's being input. Of those 6, the 3 top recommended ones are going to be the ones that we show you on the right-hand side here. 1, 2, 3. And the best one, we put the recommended banner on the top to bring your attention to it. So in this case, you'll notice the 3 options are ceiling mounted zone dimming. This would use the Lutron POW packs with the green label on them to be installed in the ceiling. But alternatively, you could use wall mounted zone dimming. Now, wall mounted zone dimming would involve running wires up and down the wall. So it's not in the recommended one. That would increase the labor being used, but it's another option and it's there so that you can check it out. So, okay, project details are all set. I'm going to jump over to my project situation. Now, this screen is one we've been iterating on quite a bit based on user feedback. And if you're here and you have advice on how to improve this, please click Have Feedback and let us know your suggestions. The options you're going to see here for your project situation are, maybe you just want to meet energy codes. I don't want any bells and whistles in my project. I want the bare minimum to meet energy codes, and that's it. However, what if I want the ability to pay a premium for more features? Now, please keep an eye on the recommended on the right-hand side. And if the client is willing to pay a premium for more features, we're going to recommend individual fixture control. This is going to be the ultimate in flexibility of the system, but come with an associated cost adder because you need controls for every fixture. So these top 4 options are going to influence which of these is recommended on the right-hand side. These last 3 options on the left are a little bit different. So suppose you need some sales help to win the job. Well, all of these projects are, we have a record of them, and we can get assistance to you if you select this. In my personal opinion, having a checkbox rather than saying, get help is a little unintuitive, and I'm happy to say in the next iteration we're developing of this, it actually says, request help, and makes it clear exactly what it's doing. So we're iterating on this screen to improve it, and if you have any suggestions for us, again, let us know with the Have Feedback option at the top. For the Lutron Vive system, you can start the project up yourself as kind of the DIY option. You can have Lutron do the full startup, or you can have a middle option, if you will, where Lutron has assistance, whether it be remote startup or just help somebody on the job do the startup. This checkbox allows us to know about that so that we can include that as a follow-up and give you pricing on that. So these last 3, again, are a little bit different in that it requests help for certain aspects of your project, whereas these first 4 would influence what the recommended solution is. I want to call out that Lutron has a handful of different commercial lighting control solutions. Vive, QuEst Standalone, and Quantum. This is just for the wireless Vive solution. So these quick estimates are for Vive, and if you want anything more detailed with a hybrid wired wireless system, that would be something that would default back to the Lutron Designer tool. And then I recommend working with Western to get a project design and a budget on a project such as that. But suppose that a Vive project is what you're looking for a quick estimate. This tool in step 3 here will show you some of the behind the scenes work that it's doing. So we've given you a quick estimate on the right-hand side. And how we did that is always very interesting to people. People say, oh, I see the number. Is it true? Is it accurate? What's behind it? Well, here you go. Based on the data that we have from the projects we've worked on in the past, we can give you a recommendation of what a typical commercial office might include. This 9,000 square foot project has been determined by the QuEst tool to include these room types, but maybe you know better. Maybe you know that there are 5 conference rooms and only 6 private offices. Now you can see as I change them, real time, the numbers on the right-hand side do change. So the more information you're capable of giving, the more accurate this will be. But the reason this was designed was for quick estimation and design, hence the name QuEst. The real driving factor behind this is we've heard so many times that someone's looking for a quick budget on a project without wanting to invest all the time for a detailed design. Sometimes it's not guaranteed that you're going to win a job, and to invest all that upfront time on something with a 10-20% success rate is just not a good business decision. So QuEst was delivered to allow you to quick get some numbers and see, thumb in the wind, does this make sense for the job? These are the right room numbers and room types. So I'm going to hit next and get to the summary screen here. The recommended solution is a ceiling mounted zone dimming solution. Now, every one of the recommended solutions that we give is going to come with a video describing what exactly this is. I mentioned earlier that the ceiling mounted zone dimming is going to use these POW packs, and this YouTube video link down here will show you how these are installed, what they look like, kind of give you an idea of what's behind the scenes. But just with my personality, I like to see all the details behind this. Just, does it make sense? I see the magic happening on the front side, but what's the bill of materials look like? So the second report here, bill of materials, I'm going to click on PDF. And it's going to download a PDF that I can browse and see the details behind the scenes. My total product cost is $11,000, $690, but what goes into that? So this bill of materials popped up down here in the bottom left. Includes a title screen telling me all the details. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Here on the third page, I can see a list of 0 to 10 volt POW packs. I have 30 of them. With the price of $152, the total price is $4,560. It takes 39 minutes to install each unit for a total install time of 19 hours and 30 minutes. Now, it's possible that you might disagree with some of this information, which is fine. We're being transparent about it so that you can tweak it. And in a PDF, it's not very easy to tweak. So I'm going to drop back to the screen I was just on. And instead of PDF, I'm going to click on CSV. This is going to download the same exact information, but it's going to pull it up in a CSV format, a comma separated value format. And now I can manipulate this in Excel. This just gives you another format to look at the information. A few other reports that we have here, a fixture report, a room function report, and I'm going to take a dive into the room function report to give you an example of what's included in there. Just as a reminder, I have the rooms that are listed here, break room, conference room, etc. But the functionality required in each of those rooms, such as switching, dimming, occupancy sensing, daylighting, they vary depending on the code. So this room function report shows you what's required in each. And you can see here that because I'm less than 10,000 square feet for my building, the load shed column here on the far right is not checked. For those of you familiar with Title 24, above 10,000 square feet is where that becomes required. So you're going to see this become checked if your building is larger than 10,000 square feet. But for now, I need manual control, such as a remote on the wall. I need time clock scheduling, and that's it for my break room. Dimming, this checkbox here, is not required for Title 24, but is included in this project design. If you were to select, I just want the bare minimum to meet energy codes, this would change, perhaps resulting in a less expensive control solution with just switching. Just to give you a demo of that, I'll drop back to the details screen, and this time I'm going to, looks like the project's been locked in, which is reasonable, so I'm going to start a new project and show you that 10,000 square feet option. I'll use the default of 15,000. Defaults all sound good to me. Okay. And now I'm back here at that room functions report. And this time I should see demand response is included. And in the Vive system, that will add a Vive hub to your system to deliver load shedding, AKA demand response. Now you don't need one of these hubs per room. you need one per 10,000 square foot radius. So you can see here in the shared equipment tab, I have 2 Vive hubs for my entire system shared across all the rooms. So a question came in from Jeremiah. Does the bill of materials include plug load control? Yes, it does. So plug load control is required based on the standards here, and I'm going to pull this chart up one more time. Let's find a room type. Down here, the second row from the bottom says that receptacle control is required for conference room, multi-purpose room. So in my project, I have 3 conference rooms. In my bill of materials, I expect to find one of the 2 Vive devices that's capable of doing plug load control. And that's either, number 1, our Vive Smart Receptacle. I'll pull up an image of that quickly. Now this is a receptacle with the Vive wireless intelligence built right into it. This is especially easy to install because you just run line voltage to it and that's it. It can communicate with the system. Alternatively, you can use Lutron Vive Receptacle POW Pack. Now this is a little more difficult to install, but is another viable option. This POW Pack can be installed in the ceiling, somewhere electrically safe, and then run down to control the receptacle. Those are 2 viable options for receptacle control. And that is included in the bill of materials, Jeremiah. So I'll pull that bill of materials up here and look for receptacle control. So I have a few relay modules. They would certainly be capable of controlling my receptacle. And that, I suspect, is what's being used in this instance to deliver receptacle control. So yes, that is required by the Energy Code in Title 24, and therefore is included in the room report. Another question came in regarding automated demand response, aka load shed. Yes, in the Vive system, there are 3 types of hubs. There's the HJS0, HJS1, and HJS2. Jeremiah said, I think you need an HJS2 hub for automated demand response. That is correct. HJS2 introduces backnet capability, which is used for demand response. That's correct. So in the future, some of the things that we're working on to take advantage of all the intelligence in this tool is what next? A lot of you may be familiar with Lutron Designer, some of you might not be, but eventually, after you get this quick estimate and design, I might want to go over into Lutron Designer and specifically get into what my fixture type is. Maybe I don't want 1 aux sensor, I want 2 aux sensors because this room is oddly shaped or something like that. So when I want to get into a detailed design, I still need to take it to Designer. And you can lean on Western for help with this, or this tool is available on our website. You can use that there as well. The reason I'm mentioning this is we're working on a way to take this QuEst project and then move it over to Designer so that you can take a project that you estimated and won and start to do the full-fledged design. It's not available today, but this is the workflow that we're looking at towards the future to make life a little bit easier. So from front to back, this is the quick estimate and design tool. If you guys have any tips that you think of afterwards to help us make this better, come in here and add it there. Otherwise, let me know now. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have or interested in any feedback that you have, perhaps to make this better for the next round. It's a web tool, so updating it doesn't require us to release a new product. It's just making a new web page. So I had a request to send a PowerPoint by email. Without using any PowerPoint here, I don't have any slides to send you per se, but what I can do is make sure that a link to the QuestD.lutron.com website gets sent out to all of you. Do know, again, you don't need an account, so it's a lightweight thing. You can just go in and start a project right away. Or if you do create an account, you get the ability to look back at the projects you've created. That's the benefit. So here I can click on my profile, click on project listing, and then I'm going to be able to see a list of the projects that I worked on in the past. As that's loading in the background, another question came in. Is there anything for exterior light? That's a good question. The Vive system is the only system included in this tool for now. And since the Vive system is an interior only system, this is focused on just interior. We do have the Limelight by Lutron solution that's intended for outdoor parking lot and parking garage lighting control, but that's not included in the QuestD tool. If you want to discuss that, I've led 2 webinars with the help of Western on Limelight. I believe the recordings of those webinars are on their website. And or if you want to attend a future live webinar, reach out to Western and we'll set up another one. But Limelight is our exterior solution. Oh, and also regarding sending the PowerPoint by email, David Martin just mentioned that Western will upload this recording to their website. So even though there's no PowerPoint, we'll have this video available on the website. Thank you for mentioning that, David. All right, well, that's all the materials I had to share with you guys. I'll hang out for a few more minutes in case any other questions come in. Be happy to answer them. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to me afterwards with questions. My name is Andrew Snyder. My email address is asnyder@lutron.com. And again, I'm based here in Irvine, California as the local system sales engineer. So please reach out to me if you have any questions about the QuestD tool. And again, I'll hang out here for a few minutes in case any other questions come in. Thanks for your attention, everybody.